Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee and I talk about what living intentionally looks like for me. So if you would like to learn some ways that you can add intentional living into your life, keep watching. I realized in a lot of the other videos that I have filmed that I haven't really done an introduction to who I am. And so I find myself sometimes saying things that you wouldn't have context for because you don't know me. I wanted to use this video to kind of ask some questions that will help you get to know me better and to share a little bit about my life, who I am, what I do, what I like, so that we can know each other better in this space, and that in future videos you might have a clue of what I'm talking about when I reference certain things. The temperature has dropped here in Georgia, so we are cuddled up. You will probably not be able to see him with the way that the camera is set up, but my pup is under this blanket. And yes, I have a mountain of pillows because every time I sit on the couch, I must have at least 3, if not 4 pillows. So as I have said in every video up to this point, my name is Kaylee. Welcome. If you're new here, so am I. I am 32 years old. I will be 33 this year. I live in Georgia and I have lived here most of my life. I've only lived one other place, and we will talk about that later in this video. I have a wonderful husband. His name is Jonathan, and he actually edits all of these videos because that is not my strong suit. That is his strong suit. So this has become kind of a creative outlet for both of us, me in the concepts of the videos and filming them, and him in the editing process of the videos. He works at an ABA center here in Georgia, working with children on the autism spectrum. He is currently getting his master's degree in applied behavior analysis so that he can become a board certified behavior analyst in this field. He is incredible at what he does. He loves his kiddos that he works with so much, and he has so much to offer people who are coming into this field based on both his experience and education in this field and his experience with children and adults with special needs that we have encountered throughout our lives. I also have a dog who you have seen a couple of times now. His name is Brekker. Brekker. A lot of people think that I'm saying Brekker. I'm not. I'm saying Brekker. And his name comes from a book duology called The Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. The main character in those books is Kaz Brekker. And so that is where his name comes from, because both my husband and I really, really love those books. They are some of my favorite of all time. I have 2 siblings. My brother lives in Minnesota, and my sister lives here in Georgia with my parents. I've mentioned it before, but my sister has special needs, and so she lives with my parents, and Jonathan and I do quite a bit of caretaking for her as well. And now a little bit more about me and what I do. So I wear a lot of different hats because I own my own business and I work part-time and contractually with a couple of other places. First, my business. I am an Enneagram coach and consultant. I work with individuals and couples and businesses and business owners and those in executive leadership. I love my individuals and couples that I get to work with, but my primary focus and the types of clients I enjoy working with the most are the businesses and the teams, and really getting to break down the structure of the business and where the people that are hired are fitting into roles. Are they in the right seat? Are you hiring the right fit? And that's what I love to come alongside businesses with to find out. If you're not familiar with the Enneagram, I might do a more info specific video on that in the future, but it is a personality tool. If you know about Myers-Briggs or the DISC assessment, it's similar. However, the reason that I prefer the Enneagram over any other personality typing tool is the Enneagram finds out our main motivations and our internal motivations instead of just our external behavior. So it's not talking about what we do, it's talking about why we do what we do, which gives us tangible and applicable information to then apply to our lives and ourselves to help self-awareness and growth exponentially more than most other personality typing tools that only give you information into the ways in which you show up, but not really any tools or guidance on how to change the way that you show up if you desire to. I am also the part-time executive director of a counseling center. I'm a special friends event coordinator for a place called Rise Coffee and Tea that is in Roswell, Georgia. Rise is a coffee shop that employs adults with special needs, like my sister, and gives them an opportunity to shine, to use their skills, learn new skills, and it's such an incredible community. And it's unlike any other place that you can walk into to get a cup of coffee or to get some delicious gluten-free goods. So if you happen to be local, definitely look up Rise Coffee and Tea and stop in one day. However, because of the community that they have created, we have some events for our special friends. I help coordinate and plan those events. Kind of an additional random fact that I realized when I was thinking about doing a what I eat in a week information that might be helpful to have is that I am a pescatarian, and when cooking at home, we primarily eat vegetarian because my husband doesn't love seafood. So most of my meals are going to be vegetarian or pescatarian that I am cooking and talking about. Some of my hobbies are reading. If you want to know more about the types of books that I read or the books that I love, definitely check me out on Goodreads. You can follow me below. I also have 2 videos out right now, one talking about some 2024 reads and the other talking about my reading goals for 2025. I also really enjoy playing video games. I would call myself a cozy gamer. I like games that don't have too much combat, or if they do have combat, it's not the main focus of the game. Because when I am choosing to game, I want to relax. Some of my favorite games are Stardew Valley, Hogwarts Legacy, Spyro, Cozy Grove, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, and Link's Awakening. And games that I love to play with my husband or to play with friends are Trine, any version of Mario Party, Heave Ho, Chicken Horse, and Mario Kart. There are definitely more, but that kind of gives you the gist of the types of games that I like. I also really enjoy cooking. I enjoy finding new recipes. I enjoy finding new meals to make that are kind of concoctions of my own. Just finding different flavors that go really well together is something that I feel really good at. What is something that surprises people when they get to know me, I think, is that I sing really well. And it's taken me a long time to be confident in that, but I do. I'm a really great singer, and there's not a lot of opportunity, for that to come up. So once someone really gets to know me, or, we decide to go out for karaoke or something like that, that's when they find out that I can sing quite well, and they're always surprised by it. Are you more of a planner or more spontaneous? This question just made me laugh. There's a little bit of a story that I'll tell you with it. I am a planner. I even plan for spontaneity. It is a problem, honestly. It was quite funny because this year I chose the word whim because, on a whim, because I wanted to create space for more spontaneity, and I wanted to think less about all of the different factors that went into doing something and just allow myself to do things. And then we had an unexpected expense happen, which if you watched the January update and the February budgeting video, you will know what I'm talking about. I was like, I can't afford for whim to be my word of the year anymore. I can't have spontaneity. So there's that. The other way that I kind of plan for spontaneity sometimes is when I'm traveling. I love to have an itinerary. I love to look at a map and see where are the restaurants that I want to eat, what sites are they close to, and kind of put that down as a itinerary for the day. And I don't stick to it. If another place catches my attention or we're too tired and we want to go back to the hotel, whatever it may be, there's room for spontaneity in it. I just like going in with a plan. Makes me feel safe and secure. What could I talk about for hours? I could talk about the Enneagram for hours. I could talk about its impact on me, its impact on other people in my life and the clients that I have worked with. I could talk about how we would all be better humans if we could all understand the ways in which people are motivated differently than us or think differently than us. I could talk about it for so long, and I have talked about it for so long with so many people. And I'm really passionate about the incredible work that it can help you do on who you are and in your interactions, whether they be surface level interactions or deep interactions with the people closest to you. The Enneagram is a game changer. I could talk about it for so long. I'm going to make myself stop because I could talk about it for so long. If I could master any skill, what would it be and why? Learning languages. There are people who are so good at picking up languages, and that is a skill that I wish I had. I am wanting to start learning Dutch. That's actually a goal for this year, is to either find a tutor or a program that really helps learn a language versus just learning some concepts or words of a language, something like Duolingo. I really want to become, if not fluent, extremely conversational in Dutch and so many other languages, but specifically Dutch. And the reason for that is because if I could learn multiple languages or all the languages, I would be able to interact with people in a much more intentional way, and in a way that I think could help me understand them even better. Because when you think about hearing someone's story when their native language isn't the one that you're speaking in, so in this case, English, when they are speaking in English and that is not their native language, they are having to constantly translate their stories in words that they know in my language, how to express themselves. And I would love nothing more than in every scenario to interact with people in their native language so that they are not having to translate for me and they are able to show up fully themselves and speak in a way that is most comfortable for them, for me to get to know them on a deeper and more intimate level. My favorite book, movie, or song that feels part of who I am. I'm going to kind of answer with all three of those things. So the two books that come to mind are The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I don't really want to tell you anything about that book. I just want you to go read it. And Radical Love by Zachary Levi. Now, come here. I get that Zachary Levi is now incredibly problematic. I understand that. And it doesn't change the massive impact that his book had on me. Okay? So these two books in particular, after reading them, I immediately told my husband, I need you to read these books because I think it will help you understand me better. If you've never dealt with mental illness, depression, anxiety, perfectionism, horrible self-image and self-talk, read these books to better understand the people in your life who do experience those things. And if you have experienced them or are experiencing them, and you have the capacity to read something that will be a mirror of your experience, potentially, read them. When I was thinking about that, I mean, I have so many favorite books, right? I have so many favorite movies and songs, but a part of who I am that I feel disconnects me from the most people is my experience with anxiety and depression. And I didn't fully plan on going that deep here in this video, but I think that it's important to talk about and important to be transparent about because it is a part of my reality. Those books helped put words to something that I didn't always feel like I could put words to. That's why I chose them. For songs, I can't think of a lot of specific songs, but there are two artists that come to mind that in the same vein put words to feelings and emotions better than a lot of people that I have listened to, and those two artists are Dermot Kennedy and Louis Capaldi. I really appreciate what they have done lyrically and musically, and their impact on me in my highest moments and my lowest moments is unmatched probably by any other artist. And movies, it's hard for me to choose because I've seen so many movies, and there are movies that I go back to that I wouldn't necessarily say are a part of who I am. And there are movies that I'm sure that I'm forgetting about, but two that come to mind immediately are Silver Linings Playbook and Collateral Beauty. Great films, and ones that I've only seen a handful of times, maybe only even once or twice, but had a distinct impact on me. One moment or experience that I'm proud of is leaving my job a year and a half ago. I was the executive director of a counseling center in Atlanta. We were connected to a graduate university. We had tons of nonprofit partners, and I was managing a giant federal grant that was more on the university side than it was the counseling center side. And I had way too much on me. And I was incredibly burnt out. I probably should have left a year and a half before I did, but I am so proud of myself for walking away from that because it didn't make any sense financially to leave that job. Especially looking back now, it made sense in every other conceivable way, leaving that job. And I am so proud of myself for making that decision and kind of putting me first in a scenario in which that is typically not easy for me to do. I'm very proud of myself for that. And every day I am fully aware that that was the right decision to make. Other than what I just talked about, a major turning point in my life that changed my perspective was living in Europe for 2 years and traveling extensively while I was there. I've also just traveled extensively, period. Living in Europe helped create a better perspective of myself, the world around me, and the people around me. I am so grateful for that experience. I truly do not know the human I would be without that experience and without the experience of traveling and seeing so many different cultures existing in the day-to-day and just seeing something so different than America. America is so small. We're so small and we're so secluded. And so being able to be there and jump on a train and in 2 or 3 hours be in another country surrounded by different people speaking a different language and doing life so differently fully changed my perspective on how I show up with other people, how I show up for myself, and really kicked off the desire and the need to show up in life intentionally when that's not what we learn how to do well here in America. And that's kind of the idea behind doing this, is sharing my process and finding ways to be really intentional. If I could live anywhere, where would it be and why? My instinct is to say the Netherlands. That is where I lived previously when I was in Europe, and I know what living there looks like. I know how to get around. I've done grocery shopping. I've gone furniture shopping. I've gone house shopping. So I feel like it would be really easy to reintegrate into life in the Netherlands. We have talked about if it couldn't be the Netherlands, what would it be? And I think the plan B would be Scotland. What is my ultimate comfort food or meal? I think anything to do with pasta, any type of noodle, ramen noodles, fettuccine alfredo, cacio e pepe, pasta with a lemon butter sauce and some shrimp or salmon, really any type of, any version of pasta. I prefer a white sauce or a cream-based sauce over a red sauce, but I'm not opposed. Or in a soup. Ugh, I love pasta. Something to do with pasta. A fun fact about me that a lot of people don't know is that I used to do freelance makeup for a couple of years. I did weddings all around Atlanta and North Georgia. I also worked out of a hair salon and did clients there while also kind of working the front desk at the salon. And a lot of people don't know that and are surprised by that when they find that out. Something that I've always wanted to try but I haven't had the chance. It's gonna come back to travel. I have always wanted to eat Japanese food in Japan. I really love Japanese cuisine, and I so desire to go to Tokyo and just eat my way around the city. A big dream or goal for the future is to move out of America, to live in Europe. I have done it before. My husband and I really want to do it again, and we kind of want to go forever, for the foreseeable future. Yeah, that's a big goal of ours. We kind of have a vision for what that might look like in the next 2 to 3 years. The timeline could change, but that is the plan. And finally, my hope for this channel. I hope to find like-minded people, whether that's 2 other like-minded people or 200,000 other like-minded people. I desire community, and community who want to live a more intentional life and can help me be accountable to that, and that can help share ideas on how they're planning to do that in the next year. That's kind of the hope, is to give myself an outlet in which to talk about some of these things where I might not have people in my life who view intentional living the same way that I do, which is totally fine and totally fair. There are many different ways to show up intentionally. But I do think that there are people who desire it to look similar to how I desire it to look. And I'm hoping that this helps connect me to those people. I have a friend, her name is Evie, and she is an Enneagram coach in the UK. And she has a podcast. On that podcast, she said, we all know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. But something that I think we often miss is that it takes a village to maintain an adult. We were not meant to go this thing alone. We need community. We need relationship. And this is my way of trying to grow my community and to grow my village, especially when it comes to something that's really important to me, like finding a way to live super aligned and intentional for me. If you have any questions or concepts that you would like to see show up in a video, please leave them in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you on what you want to see and what would be helpful for you in your journey of finding ways to live more intentionally. Hopefully this helped you feel a little bit more connected to me and connected to the hope that I have for this channel and showing up here in this space. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Until next time.